But I am definitely at the point now where I am completely overwhelmed. You probably see it in my face. I'm completely over. There's too much. There's just too much.
You serious?
Hey, I thought I would do a video responding to Tom Cote's July of 2023 rant. It's kind of humorous. It's very revealing. You'll see what I mean as I play it. Here's the setup, though. He was getting some feedback from his audience of 70,000 subscribers at that point that he wasn't being responsive enough to emails, that he was ignoring some emails. He wasn't getting back to people. And so they were complaining to him like, hey, how come you're not getting back to me? Don't you care? And all this kind of stuff. So, with 70,000 subs and videos that get 40 to 50,000 views a day, I mean, yeah, it's impossible to reply to people. But rather than just do a quick video or a quick comment that says, hey, thanks for all of your emails and everything, but I can't respond to all of them. I'm sure you understand. It's kind of a big crowd, and I love you. I'm glad you're sending me messages. That's awesome. I just can't respond to everybody individually. As you know, I'm only one guy. So thanks and sorry. Okay, and then move on. Instead of that, he goes into this big rant about what his day is like making these videos, and it's just very, I don't know. It's kind of disgusting in a way. His view of things. I don't know where this comes from. He's a Gen Xer like me, so yeah, we have some entitlement. Anyway, maybe he's just a complainer in general. And I'm not saying he's only complaining here, because he's not. He's trying to help his audience. So I'll add this before I start. This guy monetizes his channel. And doing some basic math, he makes around 5 to 10 grand a month from the YouTube ads alone. So in other words, YouTube just sends him a check because he makes these videos and gets enough views. He gets about 1.5 million views a month. So they just send him checks for the advertisements that they run on his videos. I mean, 5 to 10 grand a month is my estimation. So that's pretty good living. And he also gets donations, I'm sure, because he asks for money in his video descriptions. So he's doing okay financially. But listen to what he says. It's pretty humorous.
Guys, I'm at this river from 7 in the morning to 11 in the morning. And then I go home and I upload the video, and it's uploaded at 11:50 in the morning. So I'm home about noon. And then
Okay, that doesn't make any sense. You just said you leave the river at 11, you go home and you upload the video, so you're home around noon. No, you're home at 11, and the video uploads from your home to YouTube. Takes about an hour. You're home that whole time. So I just think it's funny. He's not. I don't mean to put emotion that's not there, but he just basically admitted, I work 4 hours a day. Now, I know lots of people who are in their cars by 7 a.m. Okay, I'm in front of my desk by 7 a.m. I don't know. These are people that have things called jobs. You are on the road by 6, 6:30, 7. You drive to work. You're at work all day. Like all day, not just till 11 or noon. But you're there all day, and sometimes past 5, and you're on your way home at 6. This is routine. Lots and lots of people do that every day. I'm just saying. Oh, and by the way, they don't make nearly the amount of money that you're potentially making.
And I have an arrangement with my wife where I spend every day an hour where she can be completely away from our 3-year-old, and I'm with the 3-year-old. And then by the time I'm done with that, the video's been up for a while. Now I'm going through comments, almost between comments, emails. And this is besides, like, I log on to Facebook, which I'm not really big into Facebook. There's hundreds of unread messages.
All right, so he just says basically he works from 7 to 11 every day. Then he comes home for an hour while the video uploads. Does what? Well, hangs out at the house. Then he spends an hour babysitting for his wife. Well, isn't that wonderful? That's great, Tom, that you can babysit for Renee for an hour and just give her a break. I mean, that's great. No one listening to me right now probably can do that. That's a pretty good life, okay? By the way, let's just not forget, the job you're doing involves no bosses. So you have nobody yelling at you while you're sitting in your car at this beautiful park-like setting and saying, where's my report? And how come the numbers are so low? And what about that quality control issue that happened? And on, all the usual stuff. Or how about nurses? I know some nurses that, get up every morning kind of early. And I dare say they're on the job by 7 a.m. and in the ER, and they work from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day in the ER on their feet, dealing with one thing after another, and patients and doctors who are not very nice, and coworkers who aren't very nice, and whatever. Just the norm. We all know what I'm talking about, right? This guy has none of that. He's completely on his own. He doesn't have anybody putting any pressure on him at all. And here he's going to now complain that he's got too many messages to respond to?
I have more than 1,000 friend requests.
Oh,
and
what are you going to do?
It's overwhelming, but I'm not.
It's overwhelming. Shut up. Do you want to talk about overwhelming, sir? There's people I know that they come into work every day and they got 100 emails already in their inbox. I have a friend who's he's like, dude, I'm going crazy. Every day, it's like I finish my day at 6 or 7. I go home, have dinner, then I do more email at night. I get up the next morning. By the time I'm up, there's already 50 emails in my inbox that I have to respond to. So that's overwhelming, Tom. Guess what? If my friend doesn't respond, guess what happens to him? Yeah, he gets fired, or customers don't pay. I have emails. I don't have nearly the number my friend has, but I have emails I have to respond to. I can't just ignore them. I get fired. My customers don't work with me anymore if I don't respond to them. Yours don't. Yours don't care. In fact, you can lie to your customers all day long, and they still watch your videos.
But I belong to Jesus, and he it's promised, as thy day, so shall thy strength be.
Oh my God!
So I can handle all this stuff.
Sorry. I mean, oh my God! Why is this man still talking? What? You're comparing yourself to a martyr now? Like a real true minister who's out in the field and going through serious trial and persecution and still oh Lord, help me through my day. Help me to deal with the fact that there's thousands of people who want to be my friend on Facebook and I don't want to be their friend. What do I do, Lord?
It's only when people get offended that I can't have a one-on-one relationship with them, which I can't, okay. Where I'm answering their emails all day long back and forth. I can't do it.
Yeah, we know. That's fine. That's all you have to say. It's pretty clear when the guy just says, hey, I got 60,000, 70, 80, 90,000 subs and all the, I can't possibly have a relationship one-on-one with you guys. I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't.
You know what? I always tell my wife, I have eternity to really get to know every one of these people. We're brothers and sisters, and I have an eternity, and I can't wait for that. Yeah. But I am definitely at the point now where I am completely overwhelmed. You probably see it in my face.
And so what happens if you just quit answering? Do you get fired? Do you lose money? No. Nope. Nothing happens to you at all.
I'm completely over. There's too much.
So don't do it.
There's just
no one's gonna call you up and say, "Hey Tom, you're fired." YouTube is not gonna call you and say, "Tom, no more videos unless you start responding to all these emails like normal people who have a job."
There's just too much.
By the way, let's just count here. He's so far worked about 4 hours a day, Monday through Saturday. That's 6 days a week, 4 hours. That's 24 hours. He's got a 24-hour work week. Sorry, on Saturday he does another hour because he makes his Sunday video on Saturday and uploads it Sunday, right? So he doesn't work at all on Sunday, even though he puts a video out. So, you know what? From the business point of view, good for him. He's got a great product as far as that goes. It's a terrible product as far as the testimony of the church and Jesus Christ goes. But as a product, it's wonderful. People love it. They pay him for it. By the way, if Tom had to pay to put his videos on YouTube, I don't think this would work. So he's got a free platform. He works 4 hours a day sitting in his car with no accountability to anybody. No responsibilities for any customers, to any bosses, to hit any numbers, to hit any goals. He doesn't have employees under him that he's managing. He doesn't have stress from that. He has no stress that I can imagine. I can't imagine what stress this guy has, because there isn't any.
So I'm going to have to like really cut back. But
yeah, tell you.
I honestly think, all right, I'm going to give a...
Imagine an employee like, boss, I'm really stressed out on all these emails. I'm going to have to cut back. And the boss like, oh, sure, yeah, whatever, man. It's, we don't want you to be stressed after all. Can you imagine that?
Percentage. I think 95% of you guys understand it.
Okay.
But I think 5% don't. And it hurts because those 5%, they're still my brothers and sisters.
Now listen carefully. He just said it hurts. Listen carefully to what Tom thinks should happen when he ostensibly offends someone else. Ready?
And when I offend someone like this gentleman who wrote me, I feel terrible. I was so discouraged when I got the note. And I replied to him and I just, said what I basically just told you.
So in Tom's world, when you offend somebody, it's bad. And it's bad because not that they're hurt. It's bad because Tom is hurt. Tom's feelings were hurt when that person said, I'm offended. You should be ashamed, you offended person. Now, by the way, I agree. Nobody should be offended by Tom failing to answer them. But to sit there and turn it around on them and say, you hurt me because you were offended by something I did, little self-centered, isn't it? I don't know. That's just very revealing.
I also get around, usually men, about 10 guys a day giving me their cell phone number and saying, hey, call me. I need a friend. I want to chat with you.
Usually men. That's great. But sometimes women, right, Tom?
And I get it because you guys watch me and it's like, me. Like we get to know each other and you guys know me and I know you guys as a community. And oh my goodness, I am a dude who loves talking about the Lord and
Nonsense. You're a dude who wanted to be famous years ago as a musician and you failed. And now you're getting famous as a YouTube preacher and you're loving it. So I will put money on the fact that Tom loves all of this attention. I'll put money on it. I guarantee you the guy loves it. This is what he's been after for years, and he finally got it. That's why he doesn't care whether or not people are paying him to lie. He doesn't care about taking the Lord's name in vain like he does every day. Every day he gets up there and says, God told me to tell you this. Here it is. Jesus is coming soon. And by soon, I mean, minutes to weeks from now. That's what he means. We all know it. In fact, he's even said at times, I think it's 2022. Then I think it's 2023. Soon it will be, I think it's 2024. I thought it was 2023. I was wrong. Oh, well. Oh, well. God doesn't care if I use his name and then prophesy and it ends up being a false prophecy. I'm not a false prophet because I said I'm not a prophet before I prophesied. So I'm off the hook, right? All right, well, I'll just cash this YouTube check now.
I always tell Renee, I always tell my wife, I'd love to call this guy. I'd love to talk about the Lord, but I know if I get on the phone with him, it's going to be for 3 hours. And she's like, please don't do that. Because I don't see her nearly as much as I did before I started this channel.
You didn't see her nearly as much as when you had a job too, right, Tom? Back in the days when you had a job? You've had a job before, haven't you? I bet you didn't see. So I'll just speak for myself. I didn't see my wife very much when I have a job. Or my kids. Hours go by even during the day. Oh, and by the way, I've gotten calls from bosses at 8 o'clock at night that I had to be talking to for 3 hours. Very stressful conversations between 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. at night when my wife is wishing I was sitting with her. I couldn't tell that person, no, I'm not talking to you. I couldn't have my wife say to me, please don't do that. And then I say, okay, I won't. I won't talk to my boss or my customer that really needs me. I'll just ignore him. No one, we don't have those options like you have. Must be nice.
And I don't spend nearly as much time with my kids that I did before I started this channel. But the Holy
Before I got a job.
Spirit led me here. And I again, I don't
Hey, Tom, there's something called unemployment. You can just go on unemployment and spend all day with them.
want to sound like I'm complaining. I don't want to sound like I'm ungrateful.
But you are. You are complaining and you are ungrateful. So I don't want to sound like it. Yeah. I don't want to sound like it doesn't mean I'm not complaining. It just means you don't want to sound like it because guess what? It's all about you and how people view you because you care what people think of you. But you still want to make sure they understand, hey, listen, I'm doing lots of work here. I've got thousands of people depending on me for their daily lives. How dare you demand that I respond to every single email? Don't you understand who I am?
Love you guys. I'm just maxed out. And I think that, like I said, I think 95% of you will understand.
All right. Anyway, in conclusion, let's all have a pity party for Tom and his 4-hour workday where he spends his time getting paid to sit and tell stories of fantasies about being zapped into heaven any second. With 0 customers, 0 bosses. This is even better than those like famous, work at home and make $10,000 a month. This is like an MLM. It's even better than an MLM. You actually have to work in an MLM. That's the whole problem. They don't tell you that. This guy hasn't worked at all. He's doing what he loves to do. He's getting all the attention he's always craved, and he's getting paid to do it. How much better could life be for Tommy Boy? So in conclusion, Tom, congratulations. You don't have my sympathy at all, but I do have to respect you for the businessman you are.